Yeah, it's just about to go.
Oh, all right. Well, afterwards.
All right, Mark was just going to say something top secret to me. So here we are, Monday. So we said we're going to early. So 10:30 is our new time from now on. Because, and again, let's get straight why we're doing this. Mark is a busy man. He's got he has other clients at 12 o'clock. And because we, tend to, Mark is full of so much knowledge that, we're going beyond that. So 10:30 is our new time from now on Monday morning. How are you doing there, brother? How are you?
Doing good, man. Still fighting this. Apparently, Beth said she was at the gym and people are in there saying this cold or whatever's going around lingers for like weeks.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah. You're still affected. And for it to be staying inside of your body, that's like super. That's like for other people, it'd be like an intravenous.
Yeah.
We talk about that. Right.
Yeah. Well, I didn't let it knock me down, but no, it's still there. Like physically, I feel better.
Yeah.
It's still congested and all that. So
yeah. Would you consider yourself? Do you have a big nose? Do you think you have a big nose?
Yeah, I do for sure.
Do you really? I got a bigger nose. Look at my nose. It's like the size of a freaking house. Like there's an area code for that thing.
It's good for the summer. Anybody who wants to shade, it's really
that's true.
Comes in handy.
Yeah, mine's more. It takes a lot of surface area. Like yours. Yeah.
Well, my son Sean, because the boxing is what they call a Roman nose.
Roman.
Yes, Roman all over his face.
it's like hockey players. It's like hockey players have the summer teeth, right?
Exactly. Some are here, some are there.
Yeah, some are there.
You look at Sean's nose; it starts over here, and then it goes over there for a bit. Comes back.
All right, just in case anybody forgets, this is Mark Puttenvent, the Patriot Training Systems. He trains people from all over the multi-million universes. Like again, like we talked, so like Mark and I both look at this quantum computing now, and I mean quantum computing, quantum mechanics. God, I do think I'm living in a different universe every day. I swear to God. Okay, two things I need to square. There's something's happening to our calendar. Like somebody's got like just speeding it up for God's sakes. It's just
time. I hate to say it, but as you get older, time goes faster because when you're 7, 1 year is 1/7 of your entire life.
Right.
When you're 50, 5 years is 1/10 of your life.
Wow. You are.
Yeah. Well, that's why it seems as you get older, time goes quicker. Yeah.
You are deep.
Yeah.
And you're like the ocean.
Yeah, but you're deeper. Yeah.
You're deeper.
Yeah.
All right. The other thing too is you ever see there's a movie, and I can't remember. I just was thinking about. There's a movie where the climate was changing. The father was living down in Washington D.C. His son was up in New York. All of a sudden, the Ice Age. What was it called?
Day After Tomorrow.
Yes, I like it. I swear to God, Day After Tomorrow hit us on Saturday around 4:30. It was like 79 degrees. I'm standing there. It's like a switch went off and it just dropped to 45 degrees, for God's sake.
Yeah, we're experiencing some really strange weather this year. Because even now, this afternoon it's going to go to 70 something, and then I look towards next week, it's back in the 40s. Yeah,
there's just let's put the tinfoil hat on.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember it ever being like that. Was it ever like that before?
No,
really?
I have a photograph. I was probably 20 something, skating on the lake with no shirt on because it was one of those days in February.
Yeah.
Where it just decided to be 70 degrees.
But I mean, it dropped like I said, from 79 to 49 in a matter of seconds.
Well, people from Calgary, I mean, they experience snow and then it's like because of the Chinook winds.
Yeah, the Chinook. Right? But I mean, not that quickly though. It was like.
Yeah, no, it's definitely strange.
Yeah.
And we got all those storms. Then you had the earthquake out in Myanmar, which is awful. Really.
And then there's another one in the ocean, someplace too. That was a pretty, I guess.
Maybe that whole area, but that was bad. Did you see the video of the people, sky top roof?
Oh, I know, in the pool.
In the pool. Yeah, that's not a cool feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so terrible. It says like over 1,500 dead at least.
Oh, more than that. They don't have the infrastructure we do here. First of all, that country's they're in civil war right now.
Yeah.
The civil war.
Myanmar? Oh, Myanmar.
Myanmar, which used to be Burma, but it's Myanmar now. There's a civil war going on. It's still active, even though they've had this earthquake. They're still bombing people. It's pretty dire straits there, but they don't have. I mean, they're digging people out by hand.
I know. And how do you? It's terrible to say this, but whenever that stuff happens, I guess they're guessing on the number of people. But how do you?
They don't know. Yeah, maybe they look at a building and say, "Well, there's 800 people that live there, or whatever."
Speaking of wars, so what Ukraine is building a luxury resort, a ski resort or something. Isn't that what they're building now in the middle of a war?
Yeah, I've read numerous articles to that extent, but I don't know if it's true. Maybe. I mean, look, Trump looked to think he was going to be able to solve this in day one. Not so easy.
Yeah, he came out and said he was going to use some
easy.
choice language against Putin, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Now they're at odds, which is what it should be to a certain extent. But there was also an assassination attempt on Putin. So the more paranoid.
Well, there actually was.
Yeah, they blew up a car, like a $225,000, like presidential vehicle. Right. So I guess he was going to make an appearance, and they had some soldiers there lined up to, salute and all that kind of stuff. So when your own people have to be searched, you can see them patting down the soldiers, and they're lifting all the manhole covers to look for whatever. Yeah, he's in a tough spot, and when he gets like that, he unfortunately acts out. So
yeah, I
don't see this thing ending. I just don't.
So what happens? They just keep on killing each other?
Well, essentially, they've been doing this for how long? I mean, it's this
4 years. It's like 3 or 4 years, right?
Well, if you really look at the history of it, it goes back all the way to Lenin.
Yeah.
When the woman who attempted to assassinate Vladimir Lenin was Ukrainian. So this goes back quite a while.
Yeah, I did a little research on that. Yeah, it goes back hundreds of years, really, the conflict there. But at least you go back to the early 1990s when the USSR disbanded or fell, or whatever you want to call it. Gorbachev said, okay, I'm going to pull out, 450,000 troops from the area. Yeah. But his deal was that he said, okay, you promise, and I think it was the first Bush was the president at that time.
No nukes.
You just promise that you won't let NATO come any closer to our borders.
Right. And you can understand their thinking. I mean, they've been invaded from the from the east, Germany so many times. And it's a very complicated situation. And the part that the really heavy battles went on, that was those people there consider themselves Russian.
Yeah.
The people that live there. So there's a lot that plays into it. It's not as cut and dry as people.
It's all the oil and all the minerals and all that.
And really, when you really think about why are we interested in it, it's obvious. The minerals.
Yeah. Cool.
Apparently, we had biolabs there. It's a great way to get nefarious kind of things done that we seem to do sometimes.
Yeah, it's funny. We think about, we say, oh, Russia's terrible and all that kinds of stuff. Well, remember Russia went into Cuba and was trying to see the Cuban Missile Crisis. Mm-hmm. Well, we put all the embargoes on Cuba back then, and we've continued that.
Yeah.
And people even forget, it's like 3 times in the last 6 months, Cuba's run out of power. Like their infrastructure.
The whole island.
Yeah. So it's, we've done the same thing to protect our own interests. You said we can't have Cuba setting up missiles in Cuba.
Well, it's ironic too, because at that time, we were concerned if they set up a missile base there, we wouldn't have time to react to an attack because they're only 90 miles off the coast of Florida. Now, I don't know if that still holds true today with today's technology, if that's even a factor.
Right.
I think they know within seconds if there's a launch from Europe or whatever like that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's you just wish they put more effort into saving us instead of figuring out ways to kill us.
Well, and as we all know too, a lot of people make a lot of money off wars. So
well, yeah, I mean, that's another unfortunate part of the whole equation.
Okay, so big breakthrough here. I've been doing my research. I followed this guy, a couple of videos. This is health guy. He's living in Costa Rica. And he's a really interesting guy. But he goes over the top. You've seen this guy?
John Saladino.
Yeah. He's got this place built where he dives off the roof kind of thing into his pool.
Oh, he's a young guy.
Yeah. But one of the things he really, and again, he goes over the top. Like he washes his clothes with vinegar. He doesn't use any soap. And even he doesn't use toothpaste. I start thinking, I gargle with the hydrogen peroxide. Well, it's like like 3% hydrogen peroxide. Mm-hmm. It's like, why am I using toothpaste? So I just brush my teeth and just gargle with hydrogen peroxide.
There's a lot of different thoughts to that, but yeah, he was a carnivore guy.
Yeah.
He changed. He decided he wasn't a carnivore diet guy.
He's still big on red meat though too, right?
It's a big part of his diet, but but here's the thing with a guy like that. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
He's an MD, I believe. Right?
Yeah.
But he's also 30 something.
Yeah, single guy.
And he's ripped. He's probably got great genetics.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot for him to look that way. Right. But
so everybody wants to be like him. Yeah.
Sure, I would want to be. I still do. But the thing is, we all got to.
Hold on. You do. You're better looking than he is. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't have the pool, and I don't have
exactly.
Yeah, but the thing is, we people got we have lives. We got to go to work. We don't have time. That's his job, is to eat right, wash his clothes in vinegar, and jump off the roof into the pool. That's his job. And God bless him. I mean,
he's against Wi-Fi. Even like he does it's only cables in his house. He won't allow like the Wi-Fi. I guess there's some problems.
Well, the only, and that's cool. That's great to take all those precautions. Problem is, you get hit by a tsunami. You're not going to, you're in Costa Rica. There's not much you're going to be able to do about it.
Yeah. He is. I tell you, he's very interesting. Yeah, and like you said, he's obviously making money off this whole lifestyle.
Sure.
So
and good for him. Yeah,
he's good. He's even like he has the red lights in his house. So his bedtime, he doesn't turn on computers or TVs. He just says,
blue light is bad. There's no question about it.
No, what though? I can watch TV or have the computer on, then I can fall asleep in 2 minutes.
You're not human.
I'm not human. I guess that's true.
I think the big concern is all the kids, having their face in a laptop or the Game Boy or, all that. But they used to tell you too when I was a kid, if you sat too close to the TV, you're going to need glasses.
Right.
And I used to sit like right on top of it. And guess what? I needed glasses.
So now I don't know if we ever discussed this.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think I'm crazy, but I had glasses probably 20, 25 years ago. I was prescribed with a doctor, get tested, need glasses. Since I've cleaned up my whole lifestyle, I never wear glasses anymore.
I agree with it.
Yeah. I guess if you're cleaning up, like fasting, for instance, you're regenerating all the cells throughout your body. So you're doing the same in your eyes, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, it's also strengthening the eye muscles. I mean, there's certain things you can't, like, so I have a chip in my lens, which there's nothing you can do about that.
Right.
But still the same. I used to wear contacts all the time, and I'm more of a nuisance than anything else. But when I need to wear the glasses, I wear them. But if I don't, just walking around in the house and even in the gym, even on the ice now, I don't need them.
Yeah. You know, I think it is too. Like for me, like I've strengthened my eyes because, like when we do this show with you, like I'm looking at you and going, that's a handsome man, right? Like I'm looking, I can't believe.
So obviously, you need your glasses back on.
No, other way around. Yeah. How was your weekend? Did you do anything exciting?
No, I mean, I had some training. So, got my little guy Dominic.
Oh.
His father's a federal agent. Dominic is 5.
You were messing with the father the other day too on a video, weren't you? You guys?
Yeah. And Dominic's just a rip, man. He's such a cool little kid.
Yeah.
Well. And the owner of the gym, Mike Donnerfield, he's a young guy. He's 30, 31. Just got married. Great guy. And we always bring stuff for the kid. Like Mike brought him a box of baseball cards the other day, and all that. Yeah. Just a good little guy. No,
I'm one of my things I'm trying to do a better job of watching our local baseball teams this year, the Mets and the Yankees.
No interest.
I know it's tough to watch.
What's with the Yankee bats?
I know
some kind of alien bat or something.
I guess they went to some scientist or something like that and said, okay, develop the best bats. So he did all these studies.
I think they did.
The torpedo bats.
They had 13 home runs in like 2 games or something. I don't know.
But don't you think this logic? It's like doing steroids. Yeah, like you still have to be able to hit the ball.
Got to hit the ball.
Yeah. That is tough. I mean, that's one sport you think about. Like hockey, you got to skate. There's multiple things you got to be able to do. But a baseball, to be able to hit a ball coming at you at 100 miles an hour.
A round ball with a round bat.
Yeah, it's doing all these, making a curve and do all this.
That's why if you can hit 3 out of 10 times the bat, you're making a lot of money.
Yeah, think about that.
And you think, and you put that up against anything else in life, you're 30%. You're pretty weak.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I was so my new thing is now too. Instead of telling everybody, "Hey, the sun's coming up," I said, "Listen, our view of the sun is about to change." Right.
Yeah. I was watching some guy saying the Earth doesn't spin, but I think we proved that to be wrong.
Well, even like high tide and low tide, right? The theory is that, I think we've talked about this, that the gravitational pull of the moon causes a bulge in the Earth. So the water doesn't really go anywhere. It's just the Earth rotating through the water that changes whether the depth of the water. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, there's a guy that goes on. He's on Sean Ryan. I forget his name. He's an older guy, big bushy beard, kind of a heavyset guy. But he's one of those dudes. He goes all the way back, and he's saying that like around roughly 12,000, between 12 and 13,000 years ago, we were hit by something really big.
Right.
Because he said they found evidence that in Tennessee there were elephants.
There was elephants in Tennessee?
Yeah. And he said this was a cataclysmic event that humanity almost was done. Obviously it wasn't, but it was pretty close to it. There's an 18-mile wide crater in the Indian Ocean. And on land, they have found rock or whatever, that's deep sea rock. So meaning that when it pushed it up. And it's pretty interesting. I can't, something, I'll think of it. I'll tell you next time. But it's pretty interesting. All the and then, of course, in 1908, the meteorite that hit over Siberia, but it took down 30 million trees.
Oh, wow.
It came in so hot, it exploded like a nuclear weapon above ground, and it just devastated the whole forest.
Is that old guy's name Randall?
Randall, yep, Brandon knows. Yeah, my man.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Brandon. I know, what was it too? There's another one they found because the ice is kind of melting in Greenland. I think it was, they found like a crater that was like miles long that they didn't know about because ice melted.
Yeah. Well, what he was explaining too, and Brendan can back me up. They look at the ground and they notice this like at about what would be 12,600 years ago, a strip of like, it looked like soot in the soil, you know, like a layer cake, right? And you had like this chocolate, so to speak, on that he believes was the soot that was thrown up into the atmosphere from that.
Wow. Do you ever think sometimes they make all these predictions, the things that happened millions of years ago, and they kind of go, well, theoretically, like there's a lot of I guess educated guesswork too, right? They really don't know all this stuff.
I can make a very accurate prediction right now.
What's that?
I can make a very, very accurate prediction.
Okay. Yeah.
Jets are already out of the playoffs next year.
Who's the quarterback? Is it JJ, the kid from Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the Giants signed that other guy.
I know. They got quite a good cast of characters there. Quarterback. Who's it? So Russell Wilson.
Russell, and he actually, you know, he was pretty good up in Seattle.
Yeah.
But what's he, 50?
Yeah, he's got a hot wife too. So
yeah. Well, maybe she can play.
Yeah. Just haven't heard of stance, right?
Yeah.
And then who's the other guy they signed too is a character too.
I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah.
Where's Wonder Woman? Where is she? We need her.
Yeah, I know. But really, like he's a real positive guy, like over the top, like crazy positive. Like he's just nothing but it. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Yeah.
You see, the kid, poor kids. Not only did they get spanked 6-1 the other night. What's the kid on San Jose? Celebrini.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, the Rangers bus, as it was leaving, sideswiped his car. The kid came out like.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. It was on YouTube this morning.
Oh, Jameson Winston. Thank you.
That's it. Yeah. Because he was in Washington, right, with the Commanders or whatever they're called.
Is that where he was? Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, he's been around all over the place, but he's he's actually a pretty good player, it seems like.
Yeah.
And then so the other guy is Aaron Rodgers. So the only team that's really left is Pittsburgh, right? Or they say potentially Minnesota. Like what an egomaniac! Like he's sitting around waiting. Like everybody's like the world's gonna.
For him to make a decision.
Okay, our buddy John Tortorella.
You know what? That's weird.
What? Thinking it?
Yeah.
Thinking it?
Yeah.
Oh, seriously, that's
quantum entanglement right there.
Yeah. So quantum entanglement is that there's to be two particles. It can be like once they're combined, right? And then they're separated, even if they're millions of miles away.
Yeah, I don't know if they were combined or whatever, but yeah. So you're up there in Connecticut, I'm down here, and we're both thought about torts.
Interception machine. Okay, so Tortorella gets fired. 9 games. He got fired with 9. There's less than 9 games now, but he got fired with 9 games left to play for Philadelphia. And so people now, I guess there's some big brouhaha with this kid Cox or whatever it is. Is that who it was?
Cam something. York was it?
York. Yes. Yeah. Where's my mind? Cox. Jesus. So COX. I had COX.
Yeah, X. Yeah, make sure you know.
Definitely. And but Tortorella, his press conference prior to getting fired, it was kind of interesting, right? Like he says, I'm not the right guy to coach this kind of situation. So like he knew it was over.
He said, I'm done here.
Yeah. All right. Now, we'll find out. Apparently it didn't get physical with the kid, with York, but it was pretty heated, right?
Yeah. There's some guys, I was listening to Brian McGrattan, and he was telling the story about when Torts was trying to get in their locker room.
Yeah, I think I saw this. Yeah.
McGrattan grabbed him. He goes, it's a good thing I was at that age, whatever, 30, not 20, because I would have drifted him.
Yeah.
But Torts is a short-term guy you bring in. I think he'd be perfect right now for New York, to be honest with you.
Right. So everybody that meets him, like he's not like that at all in person. Like I wonder myself, how much of that is an act? Like, is that what he wants? Because if you think about it from a pure selfish point of view, taking care of his family, he's a brand.
Getting jobs.
Right. Yeah. He gets TV jobs when he's done, when he's not coaching. So you think about, like, he'll always get a job either on TV or coaching because of his brand, right? Because of what he's doing.
Well, I know Sean Avery doesn't care for him.
Yeah.
Avery, like I say, Sean Avery. But then
I've seen Sean Avery on Spit and Chicklets and stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, let's think back to when Sean Avery had to go for therapy because of what he said about, like, guys.
Melissa whatever, the actress. Because Dion Phaneuf was, I guess, with her.
Yeah. So he's married to her now, Dion is. So now we're listening to Sean Avery's opinion on hockey.
What? He does have some good opinions, I will say, as far as the game.
Right.
About life, I'm not going to go to him about.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that only wears black, like they did his apartment. He has just black shirts, black pants.
Oh.
He's a little nutty.
Well, and if you go watch some of the videos from TMZ on him, like some of the confrontations he has with people on the street, it's like
crazy. I told you, he was yelling. My son Sean was running. It's the summer. Runs past Avery's apartment or whatever, and Avery yells, "Put a shirt on!" So Sean stopped and looked at him, and said, "Hey, it's okay. Yeah, my dad." It's crazy. And then I can't even repeat what he said to me one time on the elevator going up to the green room. I was like, I just went, "Wow."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in front of two other people.
Let me see here. Avery trashed his book.
Hey, and Avery's saying he can't skate. Well, Scotty Bowman couldn't skate either. He did all right.
Because Torts skipped Beauregard's funeral.
Well, yeah, that's not cool.
No, I know, man. The whole funeral thing, if people need to do what they want to do with their loved ones, I just think the whole funeral thing is, okay, how did you treat the person when they were alive? Like, this whole thing, people that haven't seen the guy or woman in 20 years, all of a sudden show up to the wake to walk by and look at them when they're dead in the casket. I just have some respect for the person while they're alive, don't you think?
Yeah. Nobody ever speaks ill of the dead.
Yeah,
but
we could. I mean,
maybe we should. But yeah, no, it's a pretty the whole wake, and it's kind of, to me, I don't know. I understand the religiosity part of it, but I don't understand why we got to go stare at a dead person.
I know.
It's kind of, I don't know. I'm not with it.
Yeah,
and then you get to be, oh, he looks great. He's dead, man.
I know.
It's as bad as he's got to ever be. It doesn't come.
And then they had the funeral, especially for somebody that's not religious. If they go to the church and the funeral, it's like, what?
So, do you know where the term "dead ringer" comes from?
No.
So back in England, they used to drink out of this lead mugs,
right? And
they would get kind of zombie-fied from it. It's because lead poisoning,
right?
And they would think the person's dead. They bury him, and then they'd hear like, "Hey, I'm all right down here." So they would drill through the coffin and have a string attached to a bell above ground. That somebody, if that happened, they could pull it, and the bell say, "Hey, I'm still here, guys."
Yeah,
a dead ringer.
Yeah.
More useless information.
No, I think that's pretty interesting, that stuff. Yeah. I think I told you several times. I just saw the video recently too, where the older gentleman had passed away. He knew he was going to die, and he made the video pretending he was in the casket and was begging to get out.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's hilarious because the people are, see, that kind of stuff to me is better. Like instead of being crying about the person dying, like celebrate somebody's death. Right? Yeah.
An Irish wake. You sit the guy in the corner of the bar and everybody just has a party.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, the whole wake thing. Like that's
Well, I think somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that all began in the Wild Wild West, because when guys would get killed in a gunfight and they had to prove that he was really dead, they'd lay his body out for viewing, right, for a couple of days, so everybody come through and say, "Oh, he really is dead." Yeah.
Oh, jeez, that makes sense too. Yeah. Because they used to leave them inside the saloon or whatever, and then people come by.
Yeah. That's and if you had the same size shoes, you get some free boots. Yeah.
There's some of the things that we do that are just like, because everybody, it's just been passed down over many years, all of the cultures and stuff like that. Yeah. I told my son, John, I die, freaking put me in the oven. Like, don't spend any money on me. Put me in the oven. If you want to go buy a keg of beer or something like that, or a case of tequila, do that. But yeah.
Like John McPhee, who's the Delta guy, says, we're all gonna die. I'm not gonna let it ruin my day.
Right. Yeah. So that's true. Like, we do make this big. Again, and I need to be careful. Obviously, that some people have loved ones that are passing away at the current time. This is just our belief, or my belief. I don't want to speak for Mark, but I think we agree at least somewhat. Is that? Yeah, it's like we know we're dying, and it's not a. Somebody tragically, I guess, all of a sudden, I guess
it's awful. Yeah. But I mean, in terms of how we personally look at it, we all know it's inevitable, but we still don't want to face the reality of it. I mean, it's a tough thing to think about. It's kind of a weird thing.
But why is it a tough thing to think about, though, for somebody?
The fear of the unknown. What's after that? I think that's the biggest part of it. Like, we don't know what comes after that. And there's, if you go on YouTube, everybody's got like all these near-death experiences. Well, near-death isn't dead.
Right.
You're near death, but you didn't die.
Right. So like these people thinking like they're going to the light or whatever it is.
And well, there's a commonality to it. Yeah, the light, and there's a sense of peacefulness. And hey, man, maybe that's the way it is. And maybe you're kind of caught in between, but somehow you come back. There's been stories where they say it's not your time, you need to go back. Or it's just part of a chemical reaction in your brain.
Yeah. You just die. I mean, the bugs go to work and start chewing away on you.
Yeah, that's a pretty nasty thought. Yeah.
But you're dead anyways. If you don't come to my funeral, I'm not coming to yours.
Hopefully, yeah. Who said that?
Ron Jameson, our boy up in Buffalo. Good one, Ron. That's excellent. Yeah. Good job. Oh, I know. Isn't it true? Like people look and I go to the wake and go, hold on 1 second.
There you go.
It goes, he's never looked better.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, people say
that. I know. It's terrible. I think to me, it's more, if you live your life, like, and I think, and thanks, you're one of the people that helped me. This opened up my life and start thinking about like the parallel universes. And, a lot of people think, well, we just move on. We don't die. We move on to some other form of being or whatever. So
very possible. Yeah. I mean, in I guess the Hindus believe in reincarnation. So,
right.
They also believe the cow is sacred. So it's what you believe.
Yeah. I know that's right too. Don't they eat dogs? They eat dogs. Those people are cats.
I don't know. They're Indian primarily is vegetarian based.
Are they vegetarian?
Yeah.
I was gonna say something. There's a lot. They're
So did you watch any of the hockey? The Rangers. I mean,
Rangers.
The game they lost in overtime to Anaheim.
I watched it.
Yeah.
It was in Anaheim. Yeah.
Yeah. They just gave the game away. They just don't know how to close the deal.
Well, and the thing is, so if you look at who's it, Montreal. Mm-hmm. So Ottawa's kind of pulled away now. So, but Montreal, Rangers, Islanders,
they're all still in the mix.
It's like nobody wants to win.
Nobody wants to win. The Islanders are awful too.
Oh, I know. You look at the teams that they lose, and then you say, okay, the Rangers got a good chance to jump up here. Everybody else lost, and then the Rangers.
I think it speaks volumes of what the league is now. It's like 6 teams, and then everybody else.
Yeah. Have we spoke? Did we speak since the Sam Rosen retirement ceremony?
Briefly.
We did. Yeah. Good guy. Oh, that's right too, because we kind of made fun a little bit of the fact that they gave him a signed jersey, 40 years.
Yeah.
One of the best.
And a golden mic. What's he going to do with the golden mic?
I know. Although I did hear a little bit him and Joe Micheletti, and they were joking about it. And Sam said something like, "Oh yeah, well, where was the Mercedes?" Like joking, like.
Right. But in my mind, no one will ever replace Jim Gordon and the Big Whistle.
Yeah, they
were awesome.
Oh. Because if you go back and listen to them, you can tell, and totally, especially Jim Gordon, totally professional.
Yeah.
And Bill Chadwick was having a few cocktails, but they did no preparation, right? No. It's going off, just winging it.
It was a smaller league, so you knew every player.
Totally.
And I think Gene Carr, who played here, they traded him to L.A. They're playing in L.A. And I guess he scores a goal, and Jim Gordon says to Bill, "Isn't that the guy you said couldn't find the ocean from the end of a pier?" He goes, "Yeah, but it's a bigger ocean out here." So he always had a quick,
Yeah. And they were good because they kind of give it to each other a little bit too, like going back and forth. Yeah. Jim Gordon.
So Chris Nylon, I don't know how well you know Chris, but he's everybody's got a podcast now, so he has a podcast. And I don't know who was actually, it wasn't on his podcast, but it comes to be, I forget what year it was, like 82. So there was some kind of part of the world championship team because maybe Montreal didn't make the playoffs. And so he went to try out for USA and they wanted to cut him, but all the coaches were afraid to tell him he was cut. So he made the team.
Oh.
And they took him over a much better player. I forget who it was, but he ended up scoring a couple goals and played well. But just the fact that they were afraid to tell me was cut. Yeah.
It is funny. I watched I guess I had too much time in my hand this weekend, especially. I was watching the first 25 years of the LA Kings.
Okay.
I was part of that. I think I went to 91 or 92 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was when Gretz were playing against Edmonton in the playoff series. And I came in and scored a goal. You can tell the guys in the team were like, what? Because it was I'm on the angle, I'm shooting across the other way, and somehow it was Grant Fuhr net. Like, and when in the net, there was, what was that?
Just pure talent. It's an easy game when you have talent.
There's another time too where I went coast to coast and I walked through the defenseman, and I got pulled down, almost scored. And Bernie Nichols and Jim Fox were hilarious. They come over to me. You could tell like it was a big deal. They're like, like they were like, Jesus, Tom. Like,
that was a great series.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was good.
Really good series. Yeah.
That was good hockey. Yeah, it was good. It meant so much too. It was really interesting the way they put it together in the 25-year anniversary, like the whole history of the team, and having good regular seasons, but not coming through in the playoffs, and then winning that series. How important that was. It was Wayne's first year in LA. So yeah,
my very first game at Madison Square Garden was the Rangers against LA. I must have been their first or second year, and the Rangers had the gag line. Roger Ver, Jean Rattel, and Vic Hatfield. I think the Rangers won 7-1 or something. It was LA was pretty bad, but then they had a lot of interesting characters earlier.
Oh yeah, Eddie Shack played there. Dave Schultz played there. Yeah.
Schultz played there. Randy Holt.
Randy Holt played there. Yes. Yeah. Charlie Simmer. Charlie Simmer's a great guy. Yeah. Did you ever meet him? You ever met Charlie Simmer?
Did not. No, but
God, he's that good-looking guy, slow talking.
Married a Playboy.
Got divorced from her, but we married.
Yeah.
We had him on a podcast. He's the kind of guy too. He's a big guy. He'd come to the front of the net and he said, "Hey Tommy, how you doing?" Like plays going on. And here's this guy. And by that time he'd been on the Triple Crown line with Dion. And you fall for it as a young guy. Go, "Hey Charlie, how are you?" Like, it's pretty cool. Charlie Simmer to the penthouse, and all of a sudden puck comes over, he scores. And like, then you don't fall for it anymore. And then he'd come to the front of the net and he'd apologize later on for it, kind of thing. So.
Yeah, no, they had a lot of Rogie Vachon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So it was a fun.
One of my all-time favorite partner, I guess partners a little bit too, was Rick Chartrand. Played there, and he played with the Rangers too. Good guy.
Canadians too. Didn't he start in Montreal?
Yeah, won 4 Stanley Cups in Montreal. Yeah.
Who's that guy around that time that played? He played college hockey at Notre Dame and then played at Montreal. And he only played a little bit, and then he quit for some reason.
I know who you mean too.
Was it Bill Nyrop?
Yes, it was. Great call by you.
Yeah. He kind of just quit. And speaking of that, I didn't know this until I watched this the other day. We were talking about Mike Bossy, and he retired. He was only like 30.
Oh yeah.
But he had like 60 goals, 70 goals, 50 something goals. He never had less than 50. Yeah. And that year he scored 38. He says, "Now I'm too old for the game." 38 goals and he retired. He wasn't happy with his performance. So
eventually we've got to get to talk about Tracy, right? I mean, we can't avoid it.
About what?
Tracy.
Oh yeah.
Tracy. Yeah. So she posted something, I think it was Saturday night, how she loved Kash Patel. Mm-hmm. So I dug up the picture with Kash Patel. Looks like he's buggy-eyed. He's cross-eyed in the picture.
He's a big hockey player.
Yes, she had posted that. Yes, that he was a hockey player. Yeah. So I had to send a picture of him being cross-eyed.
Right.
He looks like a total freak with these. But I guess if you're cross-eyed, is it cross-eyed? It's not a disease. It's
a weak muscle. But you got to worry about them. If you're dating somebody who's cross-eyed, you got to worry about them seeing somebody on the side.
Apparently, he's got a gorgeous girlfriend too. Maybe she's does. There's a hilarious video of a couple. It looks like they're on their first date. They're a little overweight and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And they're driving down the road, and they've got, is it Tourette's syndrome, where they have like uncontrollable things? And both of them started, and then they go, "You got Tourette's," and they were like, it was pretty cool. It's over
back and forth.
Yeah, but it was very funny. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to look at this stuff and just kind of,
laugh
a bit.
Oh, what do we got here? Oh, Deb's here. Hold on. Fabulous Deb, magical creature.
Good morning.
Deb Miners Hagen Anderson. Couldn't say that name for
You're
one.
better now with it.
Yes. Here's our buddy Mark Stavros direct from Greece.
Yeah.
Is there a Greek accent? What's a Greek accent? Can you do a Greek accent? Are you good with accents, though?
No, I only speak English in New Jersey.
Do I think anybody will hire? Yes, he will get another job.
Yeah. I would love to bring him back here to New York just for like a short term, just shake it up again.
People talk about that because you know what's going to happen? They're going to have some team that's going soft, and the owner's going to say, "Who's the guy that can straighten this out?" The GM wanted to save his job is going to say, "Well, there's one guy that can do it, but we're going to fire him in 3 years." And then the owner says, "Hire him." They're going to tire.
It's always been hard guy, easy guy, hard guy player coach, hard guy player coach.
Yes, I think at this point, you don't even have to say it to him. He knows, you're going to hire him in 3 years. You're going to fire him.
There's certainly a few guys on the Rangers that need a little bit of a kick in the butt.
Man, I'll tell you what the scary thing with the Rangers, they made the playoffs with the goaltending they've got, the scoring ability they have. They can win the Stanley Cup for God's sake.
The thing, and you're right, I mean, especially with Shesterkin, and if the guys just play the way that they're capable of playing, focus or whatever the issue is right now in that room, I don't know. But I mean, even a kid like Keandre Miller, if you can get him to play from inside the dots and let him run with it, let him. Hey, you got talent. If you see ice, take it.
Okay, here's my take on it. You've coached many years too, so I think playing defense, especially playing defense in your own end, and I'm not just talking about defensemen. I'm talking about all 5 players plus your goaltender. You have to learn doing less is doing more.
100%.
Right? Like if you're running around trying to do somebody else's job, you're not doing your own job. Like you see so many times we talked about this with the Ranger players, if the puck's behind the net, all of them are standing and looking behind the net instead of turning and picking up their men. Right. And that's so in one way you gotta say these guys care, they want to get it done, but they're just not thinking this. And maybe I'm assuming the coaches are saying that to them and they're just not.
Hopefully, yeah. But I don't know. So to me, my way of thinking is until the puck is over our blue line, we have to play with a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Right? And I look back to the Islander teams that you played against. Brian Trottier coming out of his own end made it look so simple.
Oh yeah.
Just made a simple play, but they got out of their end.
Almost to the point, it's a great point, because almost to the point where if you watch him play, you go, he's not that good. Well, because he just didn't have to do anything big. He just made a small play. Yeah. Here's our buddy William Haynes of Chicago, the magical veteran. We got a conductor out here who's cross-eyed, and we call him Captain Cockeye. Jeez. Captain Cockeye.
Oh, that's awesome.
That, William. Good job. Let me see here. How did the team look, Coach? They look good getting off the bus.
Yeah.
I'm missing what?
In other words, they look good coming off the bus after that. Not so great.
What was the other? What was there? One coach too. I think it was and it might have been an old Houston football coach, the guy with the cowboy hat, and they said
Bum Phillips.
He's the one that said we don't play very good on the road. We don't play very good at home. We just can't find another place to play. Is that what it was?
It was great. Yeah. They said, Coach, why do you always bring your wife on the road trip? Too ugly to kiss goodbye.
I forgot about that.
But the best, it was John McKay when he was coaching Tampa Bay. I think they were like 1-13 that year, maybe 0-13. At the press conference, one of the guys says to him, "How'd you feel about your team's execution today?" He goes, "I'm all for it." And of course Sutter.
The one was it Daryl? Is it Daryl?
I think it's Daryl. What was one? What do you? What do you think contributed to tonight's win? He goes, "We got 3, they got 2."
Yeah. How about the other one too, where somebody says, "Well, who's playing goal today?" And the guy with the big pads.
Yeah.
Oh,
you gotta love that stuff, man.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Totally. Oh, what else is going on in the world? Can we talk about? The whole Elon Musk thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm assuming a lot of these people that are protesting are paid for, right? They're paid.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Not all, but a lot of them are. Yeah.
Right. Because the logic that, so Elon Musk, now he's got his own agenda as well. He's a businessman. He wants to make money. But so in terms of Doge, he's coming in finding corruption and spend out of control.
Or maybe not even so much corruption, but just not.
Right. Incompetence.
Yeah. I mean.
But people are protesting him and wanting to ruin his business But I honestly just I'd like to know what is really what they're thinking. Like why?
So, well, it's the media. They're saying, like people think he's trying to steal money. What does he need money for?
I know. And how's he stealing it? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's getting government contracts. Well, yeah, maybe he is, but that's because he has a good product. The
And
people that are
that one contract to that $400 million. I guess there's others, but he had that $400 million contract that he and Biden, but it wasn't he, but Biden put in.
Biden put it. So here's the other part of it. Like for all these grown men and women that are keying cars.
I know.
Like really? Like first of all,
and there's cameras on the cars. Like they're all getting caught. Like
yeah, exactly. That there's that. And then I mean, how childish can you
get?
I
know.
How child. And many of these people, one was a professor, I think, somewhere up in Wisconsin or Michigan, and a lot of them are professional people. It's frightening how easily people can be kind of brainwashed into doing stupid acts. Yeah. And if you dive into, there's an experiment that they call the Milgram experiment. I Google that, and you'll understand how people are talked into doing things they normally wouldn't do.
Sure. Well, look at Fauci talked us in, put a mask on, and shutting down the country for 2 years too. So
not me.
Yeah, well, yeah. Did you never wear a mask?
Oh, you had to go into the store, but I didn't get the shot. And people, look, we all, again, that goes back to our own opinions and what we believe.
Sure.
I just didn't believe in it because, quite frankly, I didn't think you can get a vaccine tested in like a week, put it out there. Yeah. So that was just common sense to me. Had nothing to do with Fauci or, and let's not forget, Trump was the one that got that through. It's Operation Warp Speed. So he owns a little bit of that too. Right. I mean, I'm not going to let him off the hook. But, I mean, he was trying to do the right thing. But just the whole thing, standing 6 feet apart, turns out that was totally, there was no science behind it. They just
the whole thing where everybody, and this wasn't the government's fault, the rush on toilet paper too. Like you still think
what the hell was that about?
I'd like to know how that started. Like where did that all keep going?
But again, that's mass hysteria. People just, yeah, but going back to the Tesla thing, you're hurting. So how are you hurting the world's richest man when you firebomb one of his products?
I know.
Because first of all, that means that car has to be replaced with another Tesla.
And they forget that when he had an open patent on Tesla, so he could have a patent where nobody else could create that form of electric vehicle, but he chose to make it an open patent because he wanted, like he said, first of all, I'm going to make my money, which he did, but he wanted to help the environment. In his mind, that was helping the environment.
And not only that, but all these the dealerships they're American owned.
Yeah, they hire people.
Tesla's got, I think, about 120,000 in their workforce that are Americans. So the whole thing is it's childish behavior, and it's gonna turn bad. Somebody's gonna get clipped. Somebody's gonna come out of the house, see somebody scratching a car, and they're gonna do something, and it's gonna be a bad day for everybody. It's just so stupid and childish. It's frightening that people can.
Dwight Foster, I got to know, thanks, William. Yes, thank you for reminding me. When I lived in Michigan after I retired, I participated in the Red Wing alumni stuff, and Dwight was a big part of that. Played with Red Wings a long time. Great guy.
The first rounder, wasn't he?
Was he a first rounder? Yeah,
I think so. Didn't Boston pick him in the first round?
Yes, that's right. He was Boston. Yeah. And you know what? He's the kind of guy that I mean, it's total compliment. He ultimately was not that skilled guy, but just a real good team player.
Hard-working team player.
Yeah, he's good. No, that's too bad. Yeah, did we ever find out what happened to him? Was it cancer or something?
I don't know. Yeah.
God. We have our Thursday. We have our thing at Chelsea Piers, Escape with the Greats.
Okay, cool. Who's that for tomorrow's children fund?
Ronald McDonald House.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great. They do a great job. Instead of just being a formal sit-down dinner and all kinds of speeches, it's very open and everything. It's a lot of fun. And they always bring a family and obviously a young boy or girl who's in the Ronald McDonald House, who was very emotional too. And last year they had this young girl, and she wouldn't get off the stage. She was funny. She wanted to keep talking, so she was good.
That's fun. I mean, I told you a couple 3 years ago, they had the National Adult Mentally Disabled Tournament here in Wayne.
Oh,
so we brought the Warrior team there. We played them in an all-star game. It was pretty fun, and so we lined up for a team photo, and an adult, I guess the guy was like 31, 32. I don't know if he was autistic, whatever it was. He walks over to our goaltender, Jimmy Jam, and says, I'm the Undertaker. And then he says, and I'm here to arrange your funeral. And we're like, that was his trash talk. I said, man, that's good. That is really good.
Oh, that's funny.
And he scored. We let him score a goal or whatever. And
that's cool stuff.
The celly was amazing. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is good. So today, I forgot to mention my wonderful daughter-in-law, Leah, reminded me today is Transgender Day of Visibility.
Okay.
That is a day.
Okay. Well, no knock on them, but there's a day for everything now.
But you can create your own day, right? There's some registry or something you can go to make your own day.
Yeah.
We should do that. We should create a day. Okay, well, first of all, let's go back. We'll come back to making our own day. We'll figure out what that should be. That's an important topic. But Transgender Day of Visibility. So, if you're transgender, you today is the day to show people that you're transgender. Is this?
I imagine that's what it is, and hey, God bless them. I mean, that's their thing. How do you do that exactly? Like, is there some naked? Is there something you show your? No. I think you just be who you are. And just,
but isn't that
on social media?
But isn't that part of the problem though? People don't know really what you are though. Is that?
Well, maybe, but I think it's just self-identification, and it's a day for them to acknowledge it. I mean, it's just like when it's National Donut Day. I don't go out and get a donut.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the people who like donuts, so people like donuts, they'll go to, but they'll get donuts every day if they really like donuts.
The problem we're faced with in this country right now, it's a victimization thing where everybody's a victim. And we want to separate everybody into these categories. You know what, man? When that meteor is coming at us or the asteroid, no one's going to care.
Right. Okay. But let's go back. So if it's National Donut Day, people that eat donuts really don't need a day for a donut day, right? They're going to eat donuts anyways.
But all you got to do is look at them and see who they are.
Yeah, totally. Oh, no. Hold on. Actually, that's watching videos on how to make homemade donuts too. Now, but if National Donut Day, so people that eat donuts, they're going to eat donuts no matter what. They don't need a day for that. So people that are transgender, and you're saying it's a visibility day. Well, I mean, if you're going to be visible every day, aren't you?
Well, yeah, and I think at this point in history, it's this day that's probably not necessary because it seems to be a topic that we talk about every day.
Right.
But I look, it gives them validation, and I'm all for that.
But it's a little bit disingenuous. So they're saying, okay, so just one day, I'm going to show that I'm transgender.
I don't think it's the one day that they're showing they are. I think it's a day to acknowledge that, hey, we're here, we exist. Please acknowledge us, and that we want to be part of the whole fabric. Right. But
so that's visibility. Okay. But I mean, I guess you want to have it for more than one day, though, right? Like you can't just say, okay, just today I want you to.
It's like everything else. Like when you say, make one up, National Eating Healthy Day.
National Hot Dog Day. Yeah.
It's not that one day you want to do it every day. And I think they're just looking for acceptance. And this is a way of saying, and again, I think it's probably not necessary right now because it's in the media. It's a very commonly discussed topic. But hey, look, I didn't know. You can
say, well, that if you don't notice me tomorrow, it's okay because it's not National Transgender Visibility Day.
Yeah, I don't think that's what they're saying. I think they're saying, we're here. We want to be part of the fabric, and it's a day of acknowledgement.
Right.
Yeah.
So
what's our day going to be?
Wow. Okay. So what's important in our life? Fitness, but I'm sure there's a National Fitness Day.
Oh, there's everything. Yeah.
Something unique. National. Well, something that's near and dear to my heart. Like the whole topic of like human waste, like pooping and the whole process that goes into that.
You're fascinated with that. I think that might be a day that probably isn't well received in the general community. That's something that we, yeah.
Well, I think it should be though, right? Because it's a natural process. Happens pretty much. Well, it should happen every day. When that's the point. If it doesn't happen every day, there's an issue, right?
And then you got National Constipation Day. It's a whole different.
Oh man,
different topic.
Who would ever National Constipation Day? That is an interesting topic because the people that are going through constipation, that's not something to laugh at either. That's serious stuff. Like, what do you do about it? How did it happen? When will it end?
So there's different versions of people that don't believe in a God: atheism, agnostic, scientism.
Right.
But what's the one thing that everybody's not immune to when you will decide and pray to God? What's the one thing that happens in your life you'll pray to God for? Even if you don't believe it up to that point.
Sex?
No. You're at someone's home and the toilet starts to back up.
Oh, yeah.
You're praying for God to help you out in that jam right now.
or you have such a big poop that you can't get it to go down.
Or you got to.
Or you stain the bowl and you can't. There's no brush to clean the bowl. See, that's what I mean. This whole pooping process. There's a lot to it. It just doesn't. It's not as simple as sitting down, pulling your pants down, and letting it rip. I mean,
but I think it's a very personal, and it differs from person to person.
Right.
So yeah. So.
But the things that can happen to you too, like it's life changing. Like imagine
it can be. Yeah.
You meet this girl. And you're young, you're trying to impress her, you go to the family's house, and they're nice people.
That's what I'm saying right there.
Yeah,
toilet starts backing up.
They've got a smaller home. Yeah. So the bathroom's right off the living room where everybody's sitting, but you have to go.
Years ago, I worked in a sales office where like there was a desk here, desk there. I sat in the bathroom was right behind us. And it was mostly men that worked there. It was an electrical supply house. And like we'd sit there, like look at each other, make comments about what's going on in there.
Like you ever go to a park or something like that, where it's not like a business, like a restroom in a truck stop or a mall or something. Like it's a park, right? Mm-hmm. You go in there and there's toilet paper and somebody's clearly just lost their.
Yeah, it just that's a pretty consistent thing. Like when you go to a ball field or whatever, and you go to the men's room. I don't know what obviously what the women's rooms are like. I hope they're a little, but the men's room is always like a disaster occurred in there. Like bad.
Do people do that in their own homes? Like
no, but that's why they go to the park.
They go to the park because they have to have a savage poop.
Oh, yeah,
you still have a savage poop, but clean up after yourself. Like do a courtesy flush, right?
Yeah, it's bad.
I think that's part of the learning process. Like the courtesy flush is a crucial part of a public poop.
You should start a website.
Yeah.
Proper pooping etiquette.
Right. Because like whoever sits down and says most parents would teach your son like sex education or don't do drugs or don't drink and all that kind of stuff. But there's no lessons on how to poop, right?
Pretty natural thing that occurs. It's just a matter of how you clean up.
Pooping etiquette, right? Yeah. Is really what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like the courtesy flush is like mandatory.
That's big,
right?
That's big.
But although I know how you are. If you've had a good poop, I mean, there's a few things. Like your own poop smells good to you. Does your own poop smell good, or
not necessarily? I mean, I don't want to like spend any more time in there than I need to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Even with your own poop, I can see somebody else's, but your own
poop. I don't savor it.
And how about a desire to get up and look at it, like so you won't flush it, you won't look at it?
Only just to make sure there's not a problem.
To make sure there's no.
Yeah.
Right. So what would you consider a problem? Like the texture of it, like not being right,
or that it's just not looking good. Yeah. Things aren't looking right.
Because there are times. Listen, if you've had a big poop, let's be serious, especially amongst men, and maybe women just don't talk about it. But if you've had a good poop, like
it's relief.
Check it out.
Yeah. Some are award winning.
Yeah. Oh God, pooping. But really, it's one of those things that I think what we need to do is I'll shoulder the load here on this, and you can
shoulder the what?
Shoulder the load. It's that it needs to be talked about. Like we talk about a lot of things in this world, but we don't openly discuss pooping. It's like this.
Well, I think in the hierarchy of what's going on the planet right now, it's not right up there with like.
You don't think so, really?
No. We got maybe World War III going to happen, and we got terrorism to worry about, and we've got this nonsense going on in this country. Yeah. Right. Although I agree, it's something that needs to be discussed, but I think.
Right.
Yeah.
But maybe it's something that with all that other stuff going on, you want to get away from, because, what are we going to do about the war in Ukraine, right? There's nothing we can do.
Nothing here.
So maybe we should discuss, let's talk about something else that we can actually do something about. Like we can make changes in the world of pooping, right?
I don't know well, I guess. I mean, it's been something that's been since the beginning of time. And
yeah. Well, there's another example. For the beginning of time, we've been talking about the sun rising and setting, but it's not rising and setting. It's our view of the sun that's changed. Correct. So we're just assuming that we're just going to accept the way things are. So maybe we could say, okay, a different shape of a toilet. This has been one of the things that I've discussed openly here. And I think it's really important. Like the toilet, we discuss it so that there's almost no place for the poop to go other than to land on the porcelain and stain the porcelain.
Well, that's because they use less water now because of the whole
economic.
not, not economics.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Environmental concerns.
Right.
But have you ever seen the Japanese toilets? I mean, it's like sitting in a spaceship. They got all kinds of controls and everything. Yeah, you can spend like $50,000 on a good Japanese toilet. Yeah.
How about some of these places where, like when we were in the Czech Republic, it was just a hole in the floor, and you kind of hope that it went in.
Most of the planet is that way.
Yeah. Well, think of all the places that don't have any toilets. They go pooping out in the ocean.
Remember the Sochi Olympics in Russia?
Yeah.
And the bathrooms were like prison stalls, where like the guy sitting right next to you, and you couldn't put the paper in a toilet.
Oh.
And what's ironic about it,
did they reuse the toilet paper?
No, I guess it wouldn't flush with paper in there or whatever. And then, like right after that, one of the fighters had a fight in Brooklyn, pro fight, and it was in a Russian community in Brooklyn at this theater. And same thing in the locker room there. It was a sign: no paper in the toilet. I'm thinking.
So what do you do? You put it in the garbage?
Or go slide across the ring like a cat. I don't know.
Okay, here's another one too. Like you go into a public toilet, and the seat goes up and down easily. Yeah. And you walk in there, and somebody hasn't taken the time to lift the seat up, and the whole thing you just got urine all over the seat. Mm-hmm. But cleaning it off with the paper towel isn't going to do the trick. I mean, you need some, right?
Well, there again, that's the complexities of using public. Yeah.
But like I said, okay, so you poop different. Like it's like having a home team and an away team. Like I poop at home one way and I poop on the road another way. It just makes no sense.
Right. Well, and the whole thing.
It's like you're a homer. Like in the sports world, we call it that being a homer, right?
Yeah.
You play differently at home than you do on the road.
Darcy Rhoda.
But okay, that's really intrigues me now. The more we talk about it, though, that the fact that somebody would, like, I feel good about myself that what I do at home, the same thing as what I'll do on the road in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not gonna like leave the toilet up when I'm peeing. The seat, I leave it down. Excuse me. I pick it up and I pee, and then.
Well, it's common courtesy,
right? I want some of those places where they have the paper, the seat cover comes coming out of a little machine there, comes rolling around the seat.
Yeah, one square at a time.
Oh, that's the worst. When they get a big roll, but it's too tight, and every time you go to pull it, you just get one breaks. Yeah. Oh God,
that is a horror situation.
You're there. Yeah.
And to answer your question, they did not reuse the paper in Brooklyn.
What's the thing?
They did not reuse the paper in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
But these are common things that most people don't discuss.
Right.
But they are common. And again, washing your hands. So you put your hand under the water, it's ice cold.
Right.
And it only runs long enough, it never gets warm because it's on that motion detector, right?
But I've got to say, I mean, like when I pee or poop, at no time does my hand touch the urine or the poop. Why am I washing my hand?
So you think you're not, but there may be a possibility you touch something else that somebody else touched.
Okay. The door handle or something like that.
Yeah. You got to get in there. You got to, so I just don't like those that flush on their own.
The toilets. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cause if you lean forward a little bit, it goes and then you're getting like,
especially if it's crowded, somebody's waiting to use your toilet and then they think it's all done. And then you still got to sit there a little while longer. And then they're yelling at you like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell you, we should do a whole show on that. Like really get some experts in.
3 people to watch, but
like we got our Duffies there, the sleep experts, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to sleep when you're pooping.
There's got to be somebody that so if we have sleep experts, there's got to be somebody that's a poop expert, right?
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure.
Right. Urologist, would a urologist be like that?
No, hopefully you're not pooping out of there. Then you got a real plumbing issue. Yeah.
But a urologist isn't the urologist their whole tract? Like
no, that would be a GI guy, gastrointestinal.
Well, then why was my urologist checking my prostate then?
You're cute.
And I actually coached his son too. We were good friends.
Yeah. How good?
Really good, apparently. Yeah.
That's the only entrance to that particular examination. Yeah.
So I coach this guy. I'll tell his name. He's a very funny guy. Dr. Strambakis, another Greek guy. So I'm going to a Greek guy to check my prostate. Why do Greek guys have that reputation that you like, like this?
It just came to be. I don't know, but yeah, it came to be. Yeah.
So I'm coaching this guy's son. We go to tournaments. You're sitting around drinking beers together, and one day he says to me, "Tom, you got to come in and get your prostate checked." So not thinking through the whole process, I think, oh, okay, I'll come in. We sit down in his office, talking about the Rangers, playoff chances. And he goes, "Okay, up on the table, pull your pants down." And again, I didn't think through the whole process. So now I'm Tom, a little slow. Things now dawn on me that, okay, this good friend of mine that I drink beer with is now going to be entering my exit.
Right.
What I consider to be an exit, he's now entering. And he was pretty funny too. Like
how many times a week were you going?
A week. He had me go there every day. So next time I went in, which was months later, he's a really nice, real gentleman actually too. Mm-hmm. And he had a lot of older people. So people would sit out in the waiting room and he would come out and greet them and bring them back. So when he came to get me, there was a few people sitting in the waiting room and I'm like, "Doc, I'm all ready for this test again. I've taken a shower. I got some cologne on."
You didn't shake his hand, did you?
I don't know if I did or not, but I would see him at Madison Square Garden and there'd be other players around or whatever like that. And I said, "Listen, this is Dr. Strambakis. Do not shake his hand. I'm telling you, just trust me." Oh, he's funny that. Yeah.
Nothing better than a Greek proctologist.
Yeah, no kidding. He did a biopsy on me one time. He had me up on the table there, bent over. He had me sideways. I guess I don't know if that's standard procedure. I don't know what was standard procedure for that guy. And he went to insert this power tool in my butt. He goes, "Man, you got a big hole." He was actually very funny. He was pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, ease the pain of the Black and Decker.
Oh yeah. Where you live? You have a townhome, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So you don't do any maintenance around landscaping or like that. It's all taken care of.
No, anything external is the community. Anything internal, we have to take care of. Yeah.
It's kind of like prostate.
It's sort of like a prostate.
Sure. Yeah. It goes right along with pooping. Like if it's internal, that's your responsibility. Right. And again, you're pretty regular, right? I mean, you eat properly, so you really eat. Right? No
issues there. Everything's.
Are you a popcorn guy? Like popcorn's got a lot of fiber in it.
Occasionally, yeah. Right. It's.
You're not against it. It's just.
Not against it, no.
Right. Yeah. Like if you had to have one food, like you only had one food to live on for the next 10 years, what food would that be?
Well, I mean, I would prefer it to be pizza, but it's not very healthy. No. Although it would keep you alive.
Yeah, I have sourdough pizza.
I don't eat it, but when I do, occasionally, like maybe a couple times a year, it better be good because then I'm pissed off that.
I know, right?
Oh man, I wasted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
So would it be like fish, vegetables, potato, sweet potato?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's one thing you could eat that would keep you alive. Probably because you need protein and you need carbohydrate, right? And you need fat to survive.
Eggs. There's no carbs, right?
No carbs.
Rice.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's just starch. Again, it plays into the whole thing, but I don't think there's one thing you could eat that would keep you alive. Or it will keep you alive, but I mean,
right, you wouldn't be as healthy.
You'd have some health issues, yeah.
Right. Because you want to get enough fiber, whatever food. Because the worst thing you do, like you're someplace you can't poop. Right.
That could be a problem.
There's one guy, a Survivor, this old guy. They had a tribal. They won some tribal challenge, and the reward was a whole bunch of food. He ate it all. He hadn't eaten in weeks.
Oh, he got sick.
Oh, he couldn't poop, so he had to get him off the show because he couldn't poop. Like that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like
you have to lose. Couldn't poop.
Yeah, you have to quit something because you couldn't poop.
Yeah.
How about now? Listen, I know times have changed, but they're on the road. Was it Cooley or somebody's like wife was giving birth, so he couldn't go on the road with the team because
Sam Carrick just recently. Yeah.
Again, times have changed. Yeah. We understand that, but
speaking of Daryl Sutter. Was it Huberto? Who played for him in Calgary?
Huberto?
Huberto. You know, the way Daryl talked, right?
Yeah.
Coach, why did Huberto go to the room in the middle of the first period? He had to take a shit. Daryl just came right out with it. He just didn't hold back.
Although I'll tell you, if I ever had to poop, once I got into the game, and the desire to poop was gone.
That shuts down. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is it? It's something like the poop process is directly tied to your brain too, because there'll be something like this.
You have two different nervous systems: parasympathetic and sympathetic. One is
hold on. Say that again.
You have two different types of nervous systems: parasympathetic and sympathetic.
So
like one of them controls
your breathing. Hold on, that is sexy right there. That's, you got the lingerie on now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You don't. So the things you don't think about or that are not caused by external. So in other words, like your breathing, your digestion, that's all controlled by one of the systems. And the other one is fight or flight. You get a reaction. Now the adrenaline and everything starts to happen. So yeah.
Right. Huh. But because you could be able, if you go on a hike, let's say, and you're going to go on an hour hike, and 5 minutes into it, you feel slight urge to poop, but then you just keep on going through it.
Not a hike, man. Just
but you
grab some leaves and do your thing.
Well, but let's say you don't, you can chill, but then all of a sudden you get to your door and it's urgent. Like you've got to have
get the key in the door.
Oh, you have time. You got to get the pants undone. You got to have the door unlocked. You got to, Oh man.
So one of the things that people confuse, like, the term "he's yellow," guy's yellow.
Who's yellow?
Well, the term meaning he's yellow. He's
okay.
A coward. Yeah. That came from men wetting themselves in battle, and it's not that they were cowards, but what happens is that particular part of your nervous system is not important to your survival at that point.
Right.
Your vision, your auditory, and so that just shuts down. But it doesn't.
Is that where the term came? You're yellow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Well, you don't name your dog Old Yeller.
Oh, that was a sad movie.
Really sad.
Oh man,
it sucked. Yeah.
Oh. We got a guy who personally used the superintendent's bathroom, leave Lincoln Log once a week.
Yeah, it could be used as a statement, I assume. Yeah.
Oh, or the worst was when you want to really mess with somebody, but before you poop, you put a whole bunch of toilet paper in the toilet and poop on top of it.
Yeah, like a landing pad.
Oh God. Yeah. What is the fascination like men and pooping, right? It's like
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like target practice.
I know. Yeah. Brendan, I agree with you too. We should do a whole episode on pooping. I think it's something that it's a service. It's really a service to mankind. Yeah. It's something they can think about. Let's think of this very seriously, and I'm not joking. Okay, I'm serious on this. So, if you don't poop, you die eventually, right? If
you could, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Right. And if you're not pooping properly, if the texture's not good, that could be some health issue, right?
Well, when you go for any kind of examination, they'll ask you that. If you're not regular, it's an indication you're not healthy.
Yeah, but if you don't get up and look at your own poop, you really don't know. Okay, like if they say, what's the stool like? Is it hard? Is it soft? Well, I guess you know because it's coming out. Oh, yeah. Have those ones like you feel like
sideways.
Like he's giving birth, like you need stitches after.
Yeah, I think we've all experienced the sideways.
Well, oh God! Go ahead.
When my youngest son was little, he's on potty, and then he got up, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's aqua blue." The kids must have ate crayons or something. It was one of those like Mr. Misty, Dairy Queen, whatever.
Yeah.
I freaked out. Like
beets are the best thing too, right? Like.
It's red. You think you're dying. You think you're bleeding to death.
Oh God, sick stuff.
Yeah.
Pooping. And again, but peeing's not the same though, right? I mean, like,
no.
You do want to check it out though to see if you're hydrated.
Oh yeah, So like with vitamin intake, if you get that like really ultra color, just because you don't need those vitamins you're taking because they're water soluble and they're going right through you.
Right. Do you take a multivitamin?
I take vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc. That's pretty much it.
Is that all combined in one? Can you find that all?
No, you can. They're separate.
Right. It's interesting, right? Because my sons are like that too. They take all these supplements, all like it's supposedly all natural and healthy.
Yeah.
You're not a big believer in creatine, are you?
Well, it's anecdotal. There's not been any 30-year studies. It's supposedly safe. I've done it numerous times over the years. I just didn't really see any difference. The difference may be like 0.5%, but if I'm an Olympic athlete and it's approved, I'm taking it because that 0.5% may be a gold medal, right?
You know, a lot of business people I know are taking it now too, like for the cognitive.
It's supposed to be, there's a lot of neurotropics that are out there other than creatine.
Neurotropics. Say it again. Say it again.
Neurotropics. So they're supplements that's supposed to improve. You've seen the ad for Prevagen, and all people going, "Oh, I remember where I parked the car." Yeah, because there's certain supplements apparently that may help your memory and things of that nature. But I mean, Adderall, which is methamphetamine, basically makes kids focus. Because, there's a mechanism that allows you to focus. But
that's not a natural thing, though, right? Adderall.
Of course not.
Right. Yeah.
It's a drug. Yeah.
Whereas creatine is in your body already.
Well, yeah, you don't produce creatine, but you consume it. Steak is a great source of it.
Watermelon supposedly too has got a lot of creatine in it.
I don't know about that, but I think it's animal based.
No, you know what? It's citrulline is what they have.
Citrulline, right. Yeah. But in any event, so Tom, I've done again every supplement going back 40 years, and none of them really did much. I mean, in terms of they always had the next, not a steroid, but gives you steroid results. All I did was waste money. And I tell kids at hockey camps that, listen, open up Muscle and Fitness or whatever the magazines are out there today, or go on YouTube. The guys are all juicing. I mean, they didn't get the way they look because they're doing creatine or they're doing whatever.
Yeah, so to me, I would never look at creatine. And we talked about this. There was an article in the New York Post you sent me, and I read it, where they said that it does not increase muscle growth. But I don't think I was ever taking creatine thinking it was going to increase my muscle growth. It was more the cognitive. It was more. I just got this whole overall feeling like it's a pre-workout that was not like the big high and the big drop either. It was.
It works for you. It works for you. And the thing is, it's not anabolic or androgenic. It's not muscle building. The thought was it gives you more available phosphate to reconvert to the adenosine triphosphate, so you can keep going for more reps, which i.e. would possibly be muscle growth. But the growth wasn't because of the creatine. It was a byproduct of your training.
Right. It gives you the ability to work out harder. Yeah. Okay. Really important subject here. I got off watching a video yesterday about making homemade donuts. Mm-hmm. So the whole topic about fried foods, I'm somewhat of a believer that if you fry foods properly, it isn't necessarily bad. Like if you get the oils heated up properly, so the oils aren't getting soaked into the food, they're just cooking it on the outside. Do you agree with that, or do you think it's going to get
I generally don't eat fried food.
Right.
I mean, there may be some truth into what you're saying. I think you're better off doing like what you've been doing with the air fryer, things of that nature. Yeah, because I tell you what, there's a place in the city, Dinosaur Barbecue.
Yeah.
Oh. And they kind of like air fryer bake their wings.
Oh.
And you wouldn't know it. You would think they were, and it's just a healthier way to get it done.
Yeah. I've been doing I like making the homemade French fries. I put them a little bit of all-purpose flour, garlic powder, onion powder, whatever you want to do to season them up. Put a little oil in so you mix that all together, and then bake them in the oven. And you get that coating on it. It's pretty, it's good.
Yeah, I used to do that with sweet potatoes, like make chips.
Yeah.
And do that with them. I put them in, bake them for like a half hour. Yeah.
You a big avocado guy? Do you eat a lot of avocados?
I like it. Yeah, it's healthy for. It's a very healthy fat.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
In fact, I have the mayonnaise. I have, which is
avocado mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff.
Oil. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And you can. So I have Beth had bought me a while back that Vitamix thing, which is a blender.
Yep.
You take like 3 avocados. You put some cocoa powder, a little bit of I forget, a sweetening agent, like maple syrup or something. And you blend it, and then you put it in the refrigerator. It's like pudding. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Good. Well, listen. Again, I want you to think about it because it's a deep subject. It's not something we can get into and just drop it. So if you really want to get into maybe we can even think about separately doing another show on pooping, on bowel movements.
I think we've covered most of it today.
Really?
Yeah.
We can call it "Let the Bowel Howl," right?
Hey, there you go. Right. That's a great name for the whole podcast. So another podcast.
Yeah, let the bowel howl.
Poop scoop. Scoop on a poop.
Here, what is the poop scoop? Here's the scoop on poop.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe we get a sponsor, some toilet paper, or
Imodium AD.
You're right too.
Yeah.
All right, brother. I know you've got you have much more important things to do than talk about our bowel movements, but really put some thought into that. I know you're the kind of guy that you just don't jump into it. You really have to.
I got to really think it through.
Yeah, think it through.
Yeah.
I'm for it. You can tell I'm into it right away. So, all right, brother. Have a great week.
You too, guys.
Okay.